Hugh Grant acting alongside the young guy who went on to portray Beast in X-Men First Class in a film adaptation of a Nick Hornby bestseller. Let's take a look, shall we? Hello YouTube, Film Buff 06 here, coming your way with a review of About a Boy, which was released in 2002. It was based on the 1998 best-selling novel of the same name by Nick Hornby, which I haven't read, by the way. It was executive produced by the likes of Tim Bevan and Eric Fellner for working title films, and Robert De Niro for Tribeca Productions. It was directed by Chris and Paul Weitz, who also co-wrote the Academy Award-nominated screenplay with What's Eating Gilbert Grape writer Peter Hedges, and it stars Hugh Grant, Toni Collette, Rachel Weisz, Natalia Tena, who is probably best known to Harry Potter fans for her role as Nymphadora Tonks, and a relatively younger Nicholas Hoult. Now, About a Boy is a coming-of-age story about a self-centered, lazy, shallow, immature, womanizing 38-year-old bachelor named Will Freeman, played by Hugh Grant, who strikes up an unlikely friendship with a cute and smart but socially awkward 12-year-old boy named Marcus, played by Nicholas Hoult, who not only wants him to date his depressed mother Fiona, played by Toni Collette, but when Will sets his sights on an attractive single mum named Rachel, played by Rachel Weisz, he also eventually teaches him how to act like a proper adult and take some responsibility with his life. Now, I have to admit that I didn't exactly grow up with this film. I mean, I do remember seeing the trailer for it when I was 10 years old, way back from when I used to watch Box Office America at the time, but apart from that, just nothing that much else. Much else. Now, when this film initially came out, it was critically well received, but it didn't really do well financially at the box office due to it being released around the same time as Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which I think is extremely unfortunate because, as bad as that film was, at the end of the day, Attack of the Clones was still a Star Wars film, and it was bound to make shitloads of money. I mean, I don't know whether it was due to the way it was advertised or the fact that the film is unlike any of Hugh Grant's previous films, like Four Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, and Love Actually. Yes. But regardless, it's a real shame to think that this film just got stuck in amongst the crowd, especially in a year that was not only dominated by the second Star Wars prequel, but also the continuing adventures of a boy wizard and his education at a magical school, a continuing quest to destroy an evil ring in Middle-earth, the 10th entry in the Star Trek franchise, the second Men in Black film, the 20th James Bond film, and a film about a certain web slinger. And as a result of this, no one hardly talks about this film anymore. Anyways, what are my thoughts on About a Boy? This is a very funny, heartwarming, timeless, and beautifully made film. I love the fact that, like 500 Days of Summer, this film has the smarts to not fall into the trappings of a conventional romantic comedy, thus giving a huge middle finger to fans of the millions of predictable, lazy, and tired examples of the subgenre out there, by not having Hugh Grant end up with Toni Collette at the end. And it also has the balls to tackle, really sensitive issues such as depression and bullying. Speaking of the story, even though it has been told before in other movies about, emotionally childish adults learning how to behave more maturely from children who are more adult than they are, such as Disney's The Kid with Bruce Willis, to name one. It feels original here and like a story worth telling on the big screen due to an intelligent, sharp and witty screenplay written fantastically by the Weisz brothers and Peter Hedges, which also does a brilliant job of adapting the book to one of these rare points where you could safely argue that the movie is much, much superior to the book. Chris and Paul Weitz, who at that time were very well known for directing the first American Pie movie together, do a superb and stylish job directing this movie by employing these really cool, fluid and stylish camera moves and camera tricks to enhance the film. And they also keep the film going at a really steady pace with a really good editor in Nick Moore before the guy, went on to direct crap such as Horrid Henry the movie and Pudsey the movie. And after making this film, the Weisz brothers went their separate ways. Paul Weitz went on to direct the likes of In Good Company, American Dreams, and Little Fockers. Chris Weitz, however, despite having a few directorial hiccups with The Golden Compass and Twilight Saga New Moon, has lately enjoyed greater success as a screenwriter. He recently wrote Disney's live-action remake of Cinderella, and at the moment, he is writing the first Star Wars spin-off film, Rogue One. Ha! Wow. The soundtrack by Badly Drawn Boy was amazing, and the songs, including Silent Sigh, Silent Sigh, Silent Sigh, and Something to Talk About, you know, Something to Talk About, were also amazing. I almost found myself, you know, singing along and clicking my fingers. You know, that's how good they were. Despite not having as much screen time as they probably deserved, Rachel Weisz and Natalia Tena did great jobs with their roles. Toni Collette was terrific as the depressed mother. But the real stars of this movie are Hugh Grant and Nicholas Hoult, whose characters' mentor and student, or more accurately, father and son type of relationship, is the overall heart of the movie, and their chemistry together is fantastic. First off, I personally loved the two internal monologues from both characters throughout the film. They give the audience a sense of what is going on in their minds, and also what they think about each other and their own individual situations. Some people either say Nicholas Hoult is okay in the movie, while others say his character is annoying. In my opinion, I thought he did a fantastically believable job of portraying a 12-year-old boy. He reminded me of Tom Cunningham from Hollyoaks if he had a pretty horrible but cute and endearing haircut and had a similar accent to Asa Butterfield. Nicholas Hoult created a little character who you feel almost sorry for in a way. He lives with a divorced single mother who suffers from depression. He gets constantly bullied at school. He has a crush on a chavvy-looking girl who is just slightly older than him. And he ends up befriending a 38-year-old loser who knows he is completely out of his depth. With this performance, Nicholas Hoult not only proved why he grew up to achieve international fame by portraying the younger version of Beast in the two most recent X-Men films, First Class and Days of Future Past, but also that he doesn't go by on cute looks alone, that he could actually act. Hugh Grant gives one of, if not the best performance of his career as this almost, Scrooge-like figure, or more accurately, a likeable variation on the villainous cad character he portrayed in the 2 Bridget Jones films. He's given some of the funniest lines in the movie, and his comedic timing is, as always, infectious. It's also great that he actually got rid of the trademark floppy-haired, stuttering, pretty boy persona that he had previously gained from the likes of 4 Weddings and Notting Hill, and was nominated for a Golden Globe for it, which I think he should have won anyway. So yeah, if there is only one nitpick that I have with the film, it is with some of the humour. Now I'm not saying that some of the humour fell a bit flat per se, but it's just that it just wasn't quite as consistently, laugh out loud as it probably should have been. But that's probably just me, really. The best thing for me about this film is during the end credits, when I remember pausing on the name Rebecca Craven, who played Victoria Smurfit's character's baby, Megan, in the film, and I thought, that name sounds familiar. So what I instantly did was look up her name using my tablet, and I'm not making this up, by the way, it literally blew my mind to find out that she was the same actress that played the character of Rhiannon in Waterloo Road. Yes, I know. Yeah, my mind was literally blown by that fact as well. Just for someone who thought that, that Rebecca Craven's first acting job was in Waterloo Road, this movie trumped me by saying, no, this movie was her first acting job. I don't know what else to say, but it was just awesome for me, to find that out. If you are a fan of romantic comedies, then About a Boy is seriously not going to win you over in this field. However, I would very highly recommend that you go and check out this underrated little gem if you are a Hugh Grant fan, or just want to see a simple, heartwarming, feel-good movie that will make you laugh and cry in equal measure. And in conclusion, and as always, in conclusion, my overall rating for About a Boy is an awesome-tacular 9 out of 10. Now, feel free to leave a comment in the section below, and not only let me know your thoughts on About a Boy, but also let me know what your favourite Hugh Grant movie is. Plus, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And until my next video, which is going to be a review of Analyze This with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal, do take care, everyone, and ta-ta.